What is good, YouTube? Today we're going to run you through everything you need to know about Beast Mastery Hunter in the Dragonflight pre-patch. We just smashed through 1k subs even though 97% of you aren't subscribed, so sub to your boy for daily Dragonflight content. So first I'm going to run you guys through the talents. We're going to start from scratch here, so I'm going to start with Killshot. We definitely want Killshot, that's for sure. Next, what we're going to take is 1 point in Trailblazer. We definitely want 2 points in post haste, that is certain. We definitely also want counter shot. Misdirect is lovely. It doesn't work amazingly for Beast Mastery because your threat is generated by your pets and not you. So the abilities that are going to generate threat for you are multi-shot, barb shot, cobra shot, whereas kill command, beast cleave isn't really going to be your damage, so it's not going to generate too much threat for you. We're also going to take tar trap, because that is some nice utility that the hunter brings. Obviously, if your tank needs to kite for any reason, just chuck down the tar trap and that will slow the mobs down for him so he can kite, gain his CDs back, and then he can come back into the pool and face tank them. Next, we're going to take Survival of the Fittest. Now, under this tree, we have a choice node here. We could take Lone Survivor, which reduces the cooldown of Survival of the Fittest and increases its duration by 2 seconds, or we can reduce the damage by additional 20%. I've seen most people seem to be taking Nature's Endurance. However, I feel with the lack of survivability that the Hunter class has in general, I personally feel like it would be more beneficial to have it on a shorter cooldown and last longer. However, it is only a 20% DR, so maybe that's why Nature's Endurance is just better. So we'll go with Nature's Endurance for now, but I'd recommend you give both a go and see which type of playstyle you prefer. We're going to come back up and take 2 points in Natural Mending. No, we're not. I've been disconnected. We then are going to come back and take 2 points in Natural Mending, which is just going to reduce the cooldown on Exil for every 25 focus you spend. We're then going to come down to Born to be Wild, put 1 point in that, and then also 1 point in Camouflage. You don't have to take Camouflage depending on the dungeon, but it is a nice little utility that Hunter brings, and it's some extra healing if you don't have any food, for example, for whatever reason. Just jump into Camouflage and you will heal for 2% of your maximum health every 1 second. Next, we're going to bang 2 points in Rejuvenating Wind, just a bit of extra healing from Exhilaration. And then the big one, Binding Shot. We definitely want to take Binding Shot. Binding Shot is definitely up there with the best utility that the Hunter class brings for Mythic Plus, so you definitely want to be putting a point in that. We're then going to come over to here to Tranquilizing Shot. This is just a soothe ability, so it's going to remove 1 enrage and 1 magic effect from the enemy, and it will grant you 10 focus if you are successful. You're then going to want to come down to Improved Tranquilizing Shot, which is going to gain you 10 focus when you successfully dispel an effect. I'm not too sure if this stacks with the 10 focus you get from the baseline Tranquilizing Shot, or maybe the tooltip's just bugged for now. I'm not too sure how that works. Please let me know. And then we're going to come down here and take Intimidation, which is another great piece of utility that the Hunter brings. Just a single target stun for 5 seconds, short cooldown, so it's very nice, especially for Mythic Plus. We're then going to come down and take Hunter's Avoidance, which is just a flat 6% damage reduction on AoE effects. This is unreal for Hunters because we all know how squishy Hunters are perceived to be, so this is a huge benefit for the Hunter class. We're then going to come down to Keen Eyesight, put 1 point in that just for a 2% extra crit chance, and then over to Beastmaster, which is a 6% pet damage increase, which is absolutely absurd, especially for BM, obviously. And finally, we're going to come down on the left. We're going to put 2 points in Improved Kill Command, which is 10% Kill Command damage, and finally Alpha Predator, giving Kill Command 2 charges, which flows very nicely into the BM rotation, and also makes Kill Command deal 15% increased damage. So for the Beast Mastery spec, this is how your Hunter tree should be looking. I'm still debating whether to take 1 point out of Keen Eyesight and put it in Master Marksman, so that 7% of all your critical strikes cause the target to bleed for an additional 7% of the damage over 6 seconds, which could outperform Keen Eyesight. I'm not too sure, but from what I've seen, most people are running the extra crit chance. So over to the actual Beast Mastery tree now. Obviously going to put 1 point in Cobra Shot. We definitely want Multi-Shot, and we definitely want Barb Shot. We also are going to take Pack Tactics, increasing our focus generation, and then we're going to come down to Aspect of the Beast, increasing the damage and healing of our pets by 30%. If you like having 2 pets, you're in luck, because we're going to come down to Animal Companion next, which is just going to give us an extra pet, and this pet is actually going to obey your kill command, so you'll have 2 kill commands going off at the same time. Over towards the right side of the tree, we're going to take 2 points in Training Expert. Again, just another flat 10% increased damage on all your pets. And then we're going to come in to Killer Command and put 2 points in that, which is 20% increased damage on the kill command. These talents seem to be a little bit bland, but it is just fleshing out the BM tree for now, and it's just given that increase increased damage, which is exactly what we need. In the middle, 2 points of Beast Cleave. This is specifically for Mythic Plus, so we're going to put 2 points in that. And for the Mythic Plus build, we're going to come down and put 1 point in Kill Cleave, which is going to make your kill command now cleave as well, which is a huge change for the Beast Mastery Hunter. It just makes the AoE rotation so much more smoother, because now you don't have to Cobra Shot in AoE. You can actually use kill command in AoE, and it's going to be doing AoE damage, so you have something to press in AoE other than Barb Shot, and just keeping your Beast Cleave stacks up. So this feels really nice and smooths out the gameplay. We're then obviously going to come down and get Bestial Wrath. For the longest time, I thought this was called Bestial Wrath, which would make more sense to me, but this is just going to increase all the damage you and your pet deal by 31% for 15 seconds. And every time you Barb Shot, it's going to reduce this cooldown by 12 seconds. Also, it's going to grant you 2 charges of Barb Shot when you first press it. We're going to come up on the left now to 1 point in front of the hunt. This is more for a Mythic Plus / AoE build, so we're going to bang 1 point in there for 3% crit chance for 8 seconds whenever we Barb Shot. And then for Mythic Plus, again, we're going to come over to the right and put 2 points in War Orders. This talent did just receive a nerf, which was kind of cringe, to be honest. Originally, this was a 100% chance to reset the cooldown of Kill Command, which just smoothed out the gameplay completely. Specifically in AoE, it worked really nice with Kill Cleave. Obviously, your Barb Shots were dealing more damage, but whenever you were out of Kill Command stacks, you would Barb Shot, and then you would reset that, which then you could use Kill Command in AoE with your Beast Cleave up, and then just absolutely pump with the Kill Command AoE Cleave. Unfortunately, now it's only a 50%. I haven't tested too much with it, but I've heard from my boys like Stanky that it doesn't feel too nice, so fingers crossed that Blizzard revert this change. We're then going to come down and put 1 point in Wild Call, which is going to give us a chance to reset our Barb Shot cooldown with our auto shots. So for this, the more crit you have, the better. And it's kind of one of the main reasons as to why, as a Beast Mastery Hunter, you are going to want to stack Critical Strike chance as one of your main stats. We're then going to come across and take Barb Wrath, which is going to reduce the cooldown of Bestial Wrath every time we Barb Shot by 12 seconds. I'm not too sure what's going on with the tooltips here, but obviously it says the exact same thing in the Bestial Wrath ability, so I'm not too sure why it's doubling up there, but it is only 12 seconds every time you Barb Shot. Otherwise, that would be a little bit absurd. For AoE or Mythic Plus, again, we're going to come over, put 2 points in Stomp. This is going to be a lot of your overall damage as a Beast Mastery Hunter. Every time you Barb Shot, it's going to make your pets actually stomp the ground, dealing physical damage to all nearby enemies. And with the amount of Barb Shot resets you're getting, this is just going to do stupid damage by the end of the key. We're then going to come down and take Center Blood, which again is doubling up on the tooltip with the Bestial Wrath, but this is just going to give you 2 charges once you put 2 points in it of Barb Shot whenever you activate Bestial Wrath. So you're going to want to use as many of your Barb Shot charges as you can before you actually pop Bestial Wrath. You're then going to come down to Brutal Companion, which causes your Barb Shot, whenever it stacks your Frenzy up to 3, your pet is automatically going to use its special attack and deal 50% bonus damage, which I believe is the Claw ability for most pets. So in single target, you are going to notice this does a lot of damage. I've only seen it working with Claw so far, and you will see on details Claw will noticeably jump up once you reset the 3 stacks of Frenzy. And obviously this also applies if you already have 3 stacks of Frenzy and you're just refreshing it to get another 3 stacks. And last but not least, down to the bottom choice node, you're going to take Piercing Fangs, which is one of the legendaries from Shadowlands, which while Bestial Wrath is active, your pet's crit damage is increased by 30%. It used to be 35% from the legendary in Shadowlands, but they've obviously reduced it by 5%. So that is a big sag, but it's still going to be your best pick here. So this is what your build is going to look like for Mythic Plus specifically and AoE. This is going to do huge damage on AoE, and it's sustained damage as well, which is very nice, especially for Mythic Plus. One of my favorite talents is the Kill Cleave talent. Just making your kill command cleave everything around it is insane. And it makes for some more complexities for the BM spec, which I think it definitely needed. There are some differences for a single target raid fight, for example. So we're going to take 1 point out of Kill Cleave. We're going to put it in Sharp Barbs, increasing the Barb Shot damage by 20%. Barb Shot actually farms. Barb Shot is doing a lot of damage right now. We're going to come down and put 1 point in Bloodshed, which is going to command your pet to tear into the target, causing bleed damage and increasing all the damage taken from your pet by 15% for 18 seconds. So that's a huge buff. You're only going to have 42 seconds downtime on that. So that is a very nice talent for single target. For a single target raid fight, we're also going to bang 2 points in Thrill of the Hunt. just increasing that crit chance for barb shot resets, etc., which is just going to tie in the rest of the rotation. We're also again going to come down and put 2 points in War Orders, even the nerf version, just increasing that barb shot damage and giving a 50% chance of barb shot to reset the cooldown of kill command. Obviously, for a single target fight, we're not going to need beast cleave, so we're going to take 2 points of that. And so following that, you're also going to want to take 1 point out of multi-shot, as we won't be needing that. Obviously, if the raid fight is more AoE based, then I would use the Mythic Plus sort of build that we were showcasing before. But for single target sake, we're going to take the points out of these two. And other than that, we're going to finish off the tree the same. We're going to put 2 points in Scent of Blood. We're going to put 1 in Brutal Companion, and finally 1 in Piercing Fangs. So that is going to be your single target build to do consistent big damn with the Beast Mastery Hunter, and you'll definitely be topping the meters with that. Now that we have the talents out the way, we're going to move on to the legendary crafting. For the legendary, you're going to want to run the Dire Command legendary. Obviously, we're getting the 30% crit damage on our pet, which is the old legendary we used to use in Shadowlands, but that is now actually a talent, so we don't even have to bother with taking that. So we're just going to go for the flat damage from the Dire Command legendary. This legendary is performing especially well in single target, but obviously it does transfer over to AoE as well. Unfortunately, we don't have the Bloody Frenzy talent quite yet, which would make our barb shot affect all of our summon pets, including the Dire Beast that is summoned from this legendary, but we still want to pick up this legendary either way. Ideally, you want to craft it on the chest piece. This is just for the base stats, as obviously the tier sets aren't working as of the pre-patch, so we don't have to worry too much about losing them. You also obviously want to grab Unity. I've got it on my belt just by default, but you can put this wherever. I've seen a lot of people putting it on their neck piece, obviously for the secondary stats, and the effect is obviously going to change depending on what covenant you are running. So depending on what type of fight you're going to be doing, whether it's single target or AoE, you're going to have 2 covenant choices to go with. So the more flexible of the two, we've got Night Fae. You're definitely going to be want to play Night Fae on single target, that's for sure, but it's definitely viable in Mythic Plus or AoE situations as well. For Night Fae, you're going to want to use Dreamweaver as your soulbind. So we're going to take Marksman's Advantage. I don't know why it's saying -0%. I don't know if that's just a tooltip bug. Hopefully it's still working in the pre-patch. We're then going to come down and take 1 with the Beast, which is just going to increase all the damage you and your pet deal. Come down on the left here, we'll grab Soothing Voice, and the next potency conduit we're going to take is Bloodletting. We're then going to come down to Resilience of the Hunter in the middle. Obviously take Field of Blossoms, which is a massive reason as to why we are taking the Dreamweaver Soulbind. Then the next potency you're going to use is Spirit Attunement, and then dependent on the content, you can come down here and put another endurance conduit in, which I'm using the Condensed Animosphere. Obviously with Night Fae, your Unity legendary is going to change what effect it has. So as we've been used to, when Wild Spirits is going to hit fewer than 5 targets, there's a 100% chance for it to deal damage a second time. However, if you're looking to blast in AoE, then Kyrian might be for you. Personally, I've been enjoying Kyrian in Mythic Plus much more. It just seems to line up better with the consistent cooldowns that Beast Mastery Hunters have. As a Kyrian Beast Mastery Hunter, you're going to want to go with the Forgelight Prime Soulbind. The conduits are pretty much the same, except you're going to be using Enfeebled Mark, which is the Kyrian conduit. Again, I'm not too sure why it's saying it will deal 0% increased damage, but you're going to want to take Enfeebled Mark, and then obviously with Forgelight Prime, you're only going to get 2 potency conduits, so the other one that you're going to take is 1 with a Beast. And then the Juicer conduit is this Effusive Anima Accelerator down at the bottom, just making your Resonating Arrow have a much lesser cooldown, so it can line up with your consistent cooldowns as a BM Hunter. And obviously with Kyrian, your Unity is going to grant 10% increased crit chance for your party whenever you drop your Resonating Arrow. So that's the 2 covenant choices that you can run with. I've personally been preferring Kyrian, especially in Mythic Plus, which is what I've mainly been doing. But don't sleep on Night Fae either. That is probably a more solid choice overall, to be fair. In the pre-patch, BM seems to actually be benefiting from Mastery quite a bit more than usual. Obviously, if you've played BM before, you're used to stacking just crit and haste. Crit is definitely still a very valuable stat, but it seems like you want to be chucking on more Mastery enchants / gems. And obviously Mastery is just going to flat increase the damage done by your pets. We definitely still want a good amount of crit as BM for those barb shot resets, which is just going to tie in the rotation all together and make it much smoother. And also don't forget haste. It just makes the rotation much more fluid, especially on AoE, so that you can keep your frenzy stacks rolling with your barb shots. But yeah, as a pre-patch, it seems like most BM hunters seem to be stacking a lot more Mastery than we've previously seen. Finally, for the rotation for Beast Mastery Hunter, you're going to want to maintain your frenzy stacks at 3. Obviously, Barb Shot is going to increase the amount of stacks of Frenzy you have up until 3, and then it's just a case of refreshing the stacks at 3 and never letting the Frenzy stacks actually drop off. You want to try your best not to overcap on either Barb Shot or Kill Command charges, just from the sheer amounts of resets you're getting from the Barb Shot resetting from auto shots, and then also the new talent War Orders, which was obviously nerfed, but it is going to give you a 50% chance to just instantly reset the cooldown of Kill Command. So unfortunately, you will end up overcapping at some points, but just try fire them off as quickly as you can. Obviously, with Bestial Wrath, the cooldown's being reduced by 12 seconds every time that you Barb Shot, so you just want to send Bestial Wrath on cooldown unless there's a damage check or you're going to need that cooldown later in the fight. And as far as the Covenant ability goes, obviously you want to prioritize it at more important stages, but for Mythic Plus, I tend to just send it on cooldown pretty much and get the most value out of it by the end of the key. Obviously, with Kyrian, you're going to get the crit buff, and with Night Fae, you're going to get the haste buff from the Dreamweaver Field of Blossoms. Other than that, you're just going to fill with Cobra Shot, and obviously on AoE, you want to keep up your Beast Cleave as much as you can, so that when you're kill commanding as well, that is also going to cleave with the Kill Cleave talent. And finally, if the target is below 20% health, you're obviously going to want a Kill Shot just to get some extra damage single target there if there's a priority mob, for example. It is a simple rotation as a Beast Mastery Hunter, which I'm sure all you guys know. It is often the target of the 2-button spec meme, but I quite enjoy how the rotation flows, to be honest. And that's why it's looking to be my main so far for Dragonflight. There's definitely some more complexities with the spec and intricacies which make it much more engaging than it was before, so that's always a positive in my opinion. So that is my ultimate pre-patch guide for the Beast Mastery Hunter. If you enjoyed, please feel free to drop a like, sub to your boy. We're pushing for that 2K mark, and there will be lots more Hunter content to come. Catch you later.